Hey guys, welcome back. No fancy lighting, no fancy editing. My curtain's open. You're getting a glimpse into my life. Because for this video, I want to talk about something super important, especially in our current society. And I think you're being lied to. I think I'm being lied to. I think everyone in society is being lied to, being deceived, being pushed down a path that no one really knows where we're headed and how bad it truly is. The economy, and when that's not just the economy. I mean, I think the rich are on a path to derail what Americans, the middle class, and even the lower class have, because at this point now, there's not much divide between the lower and the lower class. Let's actually be honest. If you're in the middle class now in America, you are honestly still struggling to pay off your mortgage and pay your bills off. I think we're being deceived, and that mankind is being pushed towards this bubble that maybe we just don't know what's happening. But I think most people do. You know, we're getting pushed into loans we can't afford. Uh, I watched this video, someone saying the world's dead. The world's been dead, and we're in the aftermath of the world because just because the world's still here and doesn't mean, or when the world ends, doesn't mean the people are gonna go away. We're living in the final parts. Maybe some people think that the end of the world will end with all people gone. That's not true. That's not true. Because at the end of the day, when you hit to the end of the world, there'll be a point where everyone's struggling, but we're all here struggling together. And I think, as you see, the world's disrest or unrest, I should say, disdain for enforcements and police and stuff like that, uh, a disdain for politicians. And I think politicians and police have a disdain for the public and for civilians alike. This battle is a battle that is like two heads, like a relationship that's a toxic one where both people think they need each other. And this relationship builds and builds and builds, but it's building on a destructive platform base, something that it can't sustain on. And then you get stuck in that relationship. And I think that's the system we live in today, you know, where people are financing things that are useless: phones, cars, fashion. You know, we got hella rent to own products. People don't even own their computers. A tool. A tool. So that means that we don't even own the tools we have. We do rent to pay on tools. Tools are supposed to be abundant. Tools are not supposed to be something only the rich can afford. Tools are supposed to be versatile and long lasting. But we're in the age that even your handheld tools aren't as great as the ones your grandparents had. Your grandparents' tools are still in fine working conditions today as the same ones as 10 years ago. Craftsmen, come on now. So what happened? We're living in a state of decay. The world is already over. We've already hit a point that it's over. School is forcing people to go to school for these careers that are going to not be non-existent in a few years, faster than most people realize. Like AI is at the point of a smartphone. I mean, we're kind of at past the early start forms of that. We're at like, the iPhone 5, the iPhone 3, right? Like we're just getting there. Think about how fast AI will approach and come. And to be honest, most things that you do, AI could have already done as a civilian. Most jobs that people have today, I would feel, are either you're working the machine or you are in a spot where it just feels right to have a human, and they have a human for the customer's sake because they want them to be able to talk to a human. Human human value has gone down, and then we're shocked. And this is all to all my men out there too, that we're shocked that the life and the value of a man's life has gone down. Like we get hated on from all the sexes and media and everything else. Men get hated on, and I don't want to really go down that road. But just know that if they can get the women pregnant from the lab, or they only need one man to get the woman pregnant, and they don't need the workers no more, they don't need us, that you're going to see exactly what we see. We used to have value in the things we did and what we could do with our hands. But the more and more we get away from this world that we used to be in and is dead, and move into this world which is moving forward no matter what we do, a man's value has gone down in society. Let's be honest. Do I think that? No. I think if we valued men more and valued the jobs that they had to do to make society work, like keeping the streets on and the electricity going and flowing, then it would be a better world. And it's not just that it's just men, but school has devalued the jobs that aren't all about being an entrepreneur and an influencer. And here you guys are watching me on your television, your phone, through some type of social media. Social media is social development, social isolation. You're getting so much socialization. You're socially isolated without even knowing it. The world is dead, people, and it's time to move on to the next phase. And that sucks. That really does suck. And I don't think getting mortgages and trying to pay off a house in the 21st century is the move. Let's be honest. You don't know what the future is going to be like. I mean, as a man, a male in today's world, if our value keeps depreciating, they will bring back a draft. And I hate to say it, and everyone should be a little bit afraid, super afraid. But look at, Ukraine. They let the women go, but what isn't like the men ages 18 or maybe even 16 to 60 or something like that had to stay back and fight the war. Now, I may have the ages numbers wrong, and maybe it's 18 to 50. But I'm just concerned for the future. I think the world's already over, you know? Stuff is on the change, and it's changing faster than we can adapt. I mean, if we think about tools in the past, those tools, they lasted for, generations. You could be having a shoe repair machine, and I don't work in the shoe repair industry, so I don't know what that would be called. But that machine that your great grandparents were using, you could still be using, and it's like the more expensive machines become and tools and out of reach they become, the less skills people can acquire with those tools because they're out of touch from the everyday person. And it's an evolution. The world's changing, and I hope more people pick up a hammer, pick up a drill, learn how to do some stuff. It's one of the greatest things that I appreciate that I can do is just pick up some tools. And if my woman asks me, hey, this is what I want done, can you do that? The fridge is broken. Can you fix that? The stove is having a problem. Can you fix that? And whenever she looks at me, I look at her and I'm like, tell me what the problem is. And I listen. And I think. And then I respond. But I fear that this is a situation that us men, we're not going to be able to fix. We can't fix the world. We have a fraction of the wealth in today's society with this wealth divide, and there's way more problems out there. But I'm going to end this video with the world is dead. It's time to move on to the second phase of life. And I think that does mean, if as sad as it is if no one else is going to care about you, and if the world is really gone already, then I think it's time that all men put our chest up, high, forward, put that bitch out, and just love yourself and love every other man, love every woman too, because we're all stuck in this system. But the answer is love. I don't, if you love your employees more, you'll give them a little bit more of a pay, and if they love you more, they'll work a little bit harder at work. But it's just love. And I think we're squashing it, we're stepping on it, we're killing our relationships, we're killing family vibes, we're killing a lot of stuff. So let's just get back to love, old school vibes. Hey, I like that I'm young with an old school soul. Been told that my whole life. And if anything, I know I'll appreciate it when I'm in heaven. Hey, God bless, guys. Stay loved. Remember, this world may be dead, but that doesn't mean that you gotta act like it is. It's only really gone if you let something be gone. And I think this world, the one best thing about this world, that if you made it this far, is this world is the entrepreneur's dream. Good out there, go get it. There's so much to get in this world. Like, the internet is a tool. We have the most craziest in the most tools ever. I maybe say we didn't. And I do think that tools are getting harder and harder to acquire. They're getting more and more expensive. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, today's the day. Because if we live in the world where it's the easiest to do that. So if you want to break out of the system, hey, you just got to use the system to break out of the system. All right. Peace, gang. You're loved.